kicking off with a feel-good Friday story. Grant and Taryn Hawkes fell in hard times. Grant was ill and he was diagnosed with a crippling muscle disease. And the couple came to rely on clothes donations and food parcels. But a couple of years ago, their luck changed. Why did their luck change?
Well, they won £1 million.
Not a pound,
on the lot.
£1 million.
Well, she thought it was a pound, actually.
Yeah.
And, you know, they had been helped a lot by their community, so they decided that they would try and share their good fortune with others. Let's go and speak to them now. They are in Newquay in Cornwall. I know it well. My grandparents used to live down there. Taryn and Grant, good morning.
Good morning, Ruth and Eamon.
It's lovely to see you. I know you say there, Ruth and Eamon. So when it comes to a lotto ticket, is it Taryn and Grant, or whose ticket was it?
Mine.
And were you not tempted to cut him adrift, keep it, and just look after yourself? What? No?
No, we've had 27 good years together so far, and we wouldn't change a thing, to be fair. We've had some ups and downs.
Well, you've had quite a lot of downs, actually. So you moved from Kent, I think, was it, to Cornwall? Yes. And then you had some really bad news, Grant, about your health, didn't you?
Yeah, I was sort of out working and I just lost feeling in my foot. And I thought it would come back, but I went and had some tests and that sort of thing. And the test went on for quite a few months until they sort of diagnosed me with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And then a few weeks later, after that, 'cause they said when I was diagnosed with that I had to stop work. And I was a bit sort of like, nah, it'd be fine. And then got a bit of a talking to. And I said, all right, I'll do something else then. And the health just deteriorated. Then about 3 or 4 weeks later, both my legs snapped. And it turned out that my tendons and my ligaments and stuff had all torn in my legs. And
it's an awful story. And I mean, obviously your whole financial circumstances deteriorate as well as your health. Terrible pressure on the two of you. But then, Grant, it's fair to say that this lotto win was a life changer for you, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, massively, absolutely massively. I mean, I was constantly having tests from the NHS. They're absolutely brilliant. But I got to the end of where they could test me no further, and they said, like, you know, you've got to stay out of the wheelchair for as long as you can. And I thought, right, fair enough. I was determined that I wouldn't end up there, so I started researching different things myself, and we looked at things like yoga and meditation and mindfulness and things like that. And I started doing that, and we managed to find a yoga instructor who said, yeah, I'll help you try and get your strength back. And gradually it's sort of been working, and you know, after a couple of years managed to get off crutches. And so yeah,
well, that's great news. And you're still on that road to recovery, I know. So Taryn, obviously your financial circumstances were quite dire, weren't they? How bad did it get for you?
Yeah, we were in quite a pickle. Not that anyone would have known just by looking at us, but we got so bad that there'd be £5 in my pocket to feed the children for the week, and I would go down to the reduced aisles, and you'd know the times when you're in those circumstances, and you would just hope that there was something there that you could make the meal out of for the rest, you know, for your children. And there would be one time that I was in the supermarket, I needed washing liquid, and you'd pray that the washing liquid was on offer or a £2.99 special, just because you knew that took up most of your budget. But you know, it was incredibly hard.
Really hard. I said you hadn't been in Newquay and Cornwall for very long, but the local community, the local people really helped you. What did they do?
They were absolutely fantastic. We've been here 6 years now, but when we were at our hardest moment, we would find a bag of food at the doorstep. They would give us money towards a bill, or they would sort of like help with my children, like they bought us school shoes for our children and clothing and things that the kindness of, you know, like of a human can exceed monetary values. It sometimes is, you know, like being able to give someone a smile and lift them. And that's what they did for us.
And that's what you're now
they never
doing
knew
for
how
them. You're giving a smile to everybody in your community, or a lot of people, which must be difficult. They know you've now won all this money. You have this money. You can be looked after. You can walk away and not bother. But Grant, you guys like to leave a smile, the way Taryn was talking about. In what ways?
Well, we've always tried, be it from, you know, just basically talking to people, helping through problems and things like that. But occasionally we'll sort of help out with like little small donations, and Taryn will go and buy chocolates and things like that. If somebody's having a bad day, and post it through the doors, or a cake or something like that, you know.
I have been known to do random cake and chocolate drops for people just to help lift them. And, you know, people fell on more harder times. And when we needed the help most, they were there to support us. So our food bank, we've been donating to the food bank regularly. And we're not the only ones doing that, but it's been able, with our win, we've been able to do a little bit more.
But Taryn, there is, but I'm going to say now, because people have seen you on this programme, they know where you live, they know who you are, they know what you've won. Isn't there the danger, isn't there the big problem that, you know, naturally enough, people will be tempted to knock your door now or get in touch with you directly, and it will be very, very hard to say no?
Just a positive response from people, haven't we?
We have, genuinely, we're quite positive people, and people have genuinely seen our story. They've seen us at our worst moments, and we can actually sympathise with a lot of people that are in similar situations. And it is true, but Camelot, the people who run the lottery, they actually do support you as well. So if we're in a situation and we need a little bit of help, they're always there to advise. And if we can then advise somebody else, then that might be the next thing for us. So not necessarily, it might be, you know, like I say, the monetary value, it might be the smile, or it might be the bit of advice that they need to get going.
Can I just ask you before you go, because we're running out of time, sadly, about your children, Holly, who's 15, and Ethan, who's 12. What have you treated them to that you couldn't before, and what was that like for you?
It's been amazing, to be fair. The first thing we treated them to was a milkshake. We'd never been to a coffee shop and bought something, and they saw what they could have. They said to us, oh, you know, like, what can we have? And I said, anything. They said, even a £4.50 milkshake. And I went, yes. So that was one of our highlights. And then Christmas Day, we were able to get my daughter a surfboard. For it was her own personal use, so she loves surfing. And then my little boy, he wanted an Xbox so badly because his friends had them, but we couldn't afford one before. So at the dinner table, he sat there and he said to us, "Mum," he said, is it mine? Is it really mine?" And I said, "Yes." But prior to that, I had a dream the night before Christmas Day saying, "Ethan, you're crying at the Christmas table. Why is that? We've got pigs in blankets." And that's his most favourite bit about Christmas. Pigs and blankets were on the table. He said, "No, Mum," he said, "you don't understand." He said, "Is the Xbox mine?" You know, and it was a big thing for us. We were quite emotional at the table because, you know, like, your family are everything. And
it's a lovely story, and you're lovely people, and your neighbours are lovely people, your community, and you're lovely back to them. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and long may you continue to pay it forward, because that's what it's all about. And it's just lovely, lovely talking to you and sharing in your good fortune.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Thank you both very, very much.